Hello, everyone. Welcome to the GLORIO Chat, the best anime podcast on the internet. You know, I've been saying every episode before we start how great this past season has been.
Yeah.
And I think every time I've said those words, another finger on the monkey paw has curled. And we've now arrived at the summer 2021 season, and
we had to pay the piper at some point.
Yeah.
This is maybe the roughest a new season has looked in a while.
Yeah. This might be a short episode, given I was really scraping the barrel for things that sounded even remotely interesting to talk about. It's not just
the only thing I'll say is that there's always something unexpected.
Yes, I'm sure we'll find something, but it's not even like there is a bunch of shows that look terrible. I counted at least 7 isekai shows, which and that's definitely isekai shows and not like others that may be adjacent to that genre.
Yeah.
And a lot of shows that look like they're probably fine, but will probably just don't look interesting. So I mean, I don't know what's going to come out of all of this, but I've picked a few to talk about, and there's a couple of other returning things we can talk about, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. But before we get started, to introduce everybody, I'm Jel. I'm joined by Iro.
I'm still here. I'm not dead yet, unfortunately.
Still after we're just getting hot off of watching the E3 Square Enix press conference, and perhaps we all wish we weren't here.
Date this podcast.
Well, Ivo, if you wish to be dead, all you have to do is describe yourself as chaos, and somebody will be along soon to finish the job.
Yeah, let's not get
these timeless jokes, folks. These jokes
Yes.
definitely won't be obsolete literally 60 minutes from now.
Yes.
I mean, look, we're still making $599 jokes 15 years later, so, you know.
US.
Anyway, also joined by G.
What's good, everybody?
And we are joined by Zig.
Hello.
All right. So let's get into this anime so we can get back to watching bad video game streams.
Hooray.
Only the highest quality of
Indeed.
entertainment here.
So we're going to start with the sequel or sequel-ish shows of note that I threw on this list.
Okay.
And we can begin by talking about Getter Robo Arc.
Getter Robo.
G.
It's back.
Yeah, which, Getter Robo being it's Go Nagai, right?
Technically, it's Ken Imagawa. Sorry.
Okay.
But he
So,
not Imagawa. Ishikawa. Imagawa was the Cyborg 009 guy.
So, Ivo, let me tell you about Getter Robo. There are several robots, and they combine into one big robot.
Okay.
Clever, huh?
Like
So
Super
the
Sentai.
thing that always kind of was notable about Getter Robo is that, in a lot of ways, if Go Nagai is sort of considered the grandfather of a very specific lineage of hot-blooded, masculine-oriented mecha tropes, right? The hot-blooded hero who fights the demons with all of his heart and all that stuff. Then Ken Ishikawa's Getter Robo is considered by many to sort of be the perfection of the execution of those tropes.
Okay.
Getter Robo has always kind of been if Mazinger is kind of the OG hot-blooded kid in a robot, Getter Robo has always kind of been the somehow even edgier, more violent cousin to Mazinger.
Okay.
It
is the Michelangelo to Mazinger's Leonardo da Vinci.
That's that's not a. I think you mean Raphael, but
I mean, who would be Michelangelo then?
Would that be Imagawa? He's kind of goofier.
I was talking about the shows, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
They are
All right.
number 1 and number 1A in the pantheon of super robots.
Yes. And Getter Robo's kind of always been famous for kind of taking a lot of those fun tropes to their logical conclusion of if hot blood equals violence, and if violence equals and if your protagonist strives for violence, then what type of protagonist are you talking about piloting these robots? Like, you know, Getter Robo is sort of famous for many of its, like, most famous, like, protagonists basically being, like, 2 steps away from unhinged psychopaths who just happen to be directed in the direction of mankind's enemies.
Right.
You know, famously, like, you know, Ryoma, kind of the most, you know, the primary Getter pilot is like this real hot-blooded dude who just loves to fight. And it really says a lot when his second in command is a serial killer who is just like, oh man, are you telling me if I get into a giant robot, I'll get to kill even more people? Sign me up.
Okay.
So, like, that is very much kind of like, you know, the tone of Getter Robo. It's
now,
always...
I was going to say this series is... I mean, obviously Getter Robo has been around for decades.
Yes.
But this is actually a sequel-ish series in the convoluted Getter Robo timeline.
That's what I want to know. Is so, like, is each Getter Robo show like a new thing, a new cast, or is it all part of the same continuity? Or
yes
somehow?
and no is the answer to that.
So the difficult thing with Getter Robo is that the sad truth is that Getter Robo has never actually gotten a singularly good anime adaptation. Like, not once in its entire history. Like, every single Getter Robo adaptation has been dogged by, like, production issues and director changes and, like, early cancellation. Every single one. Like,
okay, then.
There is no good Getter Robo anime. The closest is Getter Robo Armageddon, which is kind of the zenith of the late 80s, early 90s anime mecha OVA.
Hell yeah.
It's violent, it's over the top, the music's great, the animation, the fighting is fantastic. You know, a man is hit by a Kamehameha and dissolves into snakes.
Okay.
I always felt like Armageddon, because it was made in 1998, which is obviously fairly late for the golden age of the OVA. I always thought of it as kind of like a decadent last days of the Roman Empire thing. You know, it's over the top in every possible way.
That's a good way to describe it. Yeah, is that Armageddon? So yes, I'm a little harsh when I say there is no good Getter Robo anime. Armageddon is a fantastic, like, spectacle. You know, it is a fun thing to watch on screen. And yes, and in many ways, it felt like a celebration of Getter Robo as it was sort of inevitably reaching the end of its relevance. You know, a post-Eva world, so to speak. But so the idea is that Getter does have the problem is that this also extends into the Getter Robo manga. Not only did Ken Ishikawa die fairly young, but many of the Getter Robo manga, which are technically part of a, like, overarching Getter universe with recurring characters and a, like, persistent timeline, many of his manga were, like, canceled prematurely or moved, like, to different publications. Like, Getter Robo is actually kind of a famously, like I don't know what the word is. It's a famously troubled series.
For something so famous and influential, it sure is a mess.
Yes, it is a very messy series. And so
Arc... It's kind of like Cyborg 009 in that sense.
No, that's actually pretty... Yes. They are similar in more ways than one. So the thing with Arc is technically an adaptation of a manga, one that I haven't read, but there is a manga called Getter Robo Arc, which was meant to be sort of a sequel to the original Getter Robo. It sort of takes place in a post-dinosaur war Getter Robo, which will tell you everything you need to know about the tone
of the dinosaur war.
Oh yeah. The dinosaur war of the. So the original villains of Getter Robo were just dinosaurs who survived, like, the meteor and moved underground and grew their own society until they wanted to rise up and destroy humanity. You know, Getter Robo is actually fantastic. I take back everything I said.
Yeah, and, like, this is so stupid, you'll see it homaged in various anime to this day. Like, just any time, you know, like, we need a, like, brief sting of a super robot parody, they'll be fighting, like, evil dinosaurs from under a city or something like that.
Yes. So Arc is an adaptation, but it's an adaptation of a canceled manga. So...
Okay.
It's sort of in a weird place where it is probably going to adapt, like, the large, like, the primary plot points of the original manga, but how it decides to finish, or even how close of an adaptation it decides to be, is kind of hard to say.
And again, the franchise has history with this. I mean, like the aforementioned Armageddon is a sequel to a. Correct me if I'm wrong, G, but it's a sequel to a manga that was never actually produced. Is that true?
That is my understanding. Is that yes? Is that Armageddon is sort of like. Again, like Ishikawa had a really like messy career. Like despite like how deeply like in many ways Ishikawa should be up there with Go Nagai. He deserves to be. But just like the combination of his premature death and just like how messy his career was kind of like really kind of prevented a lot of, his works from kind of hitting the big time. And yes, so, Armageddon is it's a sequel but also kind of not really. Like it's
very odd. It's very odd.
Yeah. And so Arc is kind of shaping up to be kind of in a similar place of like there are legacy characters in Arc. Jin Hayato, the aforementioned psychopath I mentioned earlier, is a recurring character in Arc. Where here he seems to be playing the role of the like Dr. Saltome style doctor, except he's double fisting AK-47s. So I'm not really sure what he's doing here.
Okay.
But
how else are you gonna fight dinosaurs?
So again, it's like you hear the tone I speak of Getter Robo, but also like Getter Robo's fucking awesome. Like it's awesome in the way that like 90s comics were in that, or the good 90s comics were. Like it's over the top, it's ridiculous, it's hot blooded. If you just want to see a robot like just fucking beat an alien to death with his bare hands and then shout, Getter Tomahawk, like Getter's got you backed up, man.
In other words, it very much depends who shows up to this anime, because it could be great, it could be a disaster. There's almost no way to tell.
Well, it sounds like there's a lot of room for creative freedom on this, even though it is, I guess, technically an adaptation. I will say, watching the trailer...
So that's a thing we didn't get to.
Yeah.
CG Max, baby.
Yeah.
I would say, at the very least, they didn't try to pretty it up with modern... it still looks like old style, at least, but I don't know about the CG robots.
So... Yeah, I was one of those holdouts that said, like, the moment Mazinger and Getter get animated in CG is, like... That is when you know, like, that super robots are well and truly dead, and,
Well, we're here.
Save us from Xenon.
Yeah, like, the CG's not looking... Look, this ain't Studio Orange, Like...
Right.
Yeah, like, it's not awful, I guess, but it's not...
No,
the best we've seen either.
Like, again, like, I know, like, I'm spending way too much time on this fucking thing, but I just gotta give a shout out to, like...
Oh, we don't have anything else to talk about, so it's fine.
The thing that made Getter Robo Armageddon, like, such a fun goddamn spectacle is how much it embraced the, like, Ishikawa style, like, like, I'm sure you've all seen parodies of it, right? Like the super, like, when an anime suddenly goes super sketchy, and their eyebrows get super, like, fucking gigantic, and, like,
right.
there's like 15 more sketchy like lines underneath their face. Like that is Getter Robo Armageddon. Like, and just the animation, like the stuff they would do with like the characters and Getter Robo itself and Armageddon. And again, I know it's like fucking talking about how anime was better back in the good old days is a pointless endeavor, but like,
I mean, there was more of a market, and they could afford to spend more money and time on that kind of thing, And again, remember, Armageddon was an OVA. They're produced under very different circumstances.
So all I'll say is, if you think Getter Robo Arc is looking pretty bad, I'm going to say this here. I want you all to YouTube Getter Robo Armageddon Stoner Sunshine. Just type those words in. Getter Robo Stoner Sunshine. All right, look that up and be impressed by what Getter Robo is capable of.
That's your homework, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I want to look forward to this, but also like Getter Robo is just such a fucking like inconsistent quantity that it's hard to actually like know what we're gonna get out of this.
I'm shocked that it's even getting made at all, to be honest.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. Okay, let's move along. I felt like I had to mention there's a new Love Live, because those are a big deal, right?
Great.
So is this a new TV series? Or...
Yes.
Because we just had Nijisaki High School, or whatever it was.
Yes. So I did my research.
Wow.
This is the third official main line, because the one that just happened was like a idol battle royale or something like that. This is like an actual
100 idols drop onto an island.
Right.
We still have Juki Hanada on writing, I see.
Yeah, this is like an actual new group that they're gonna try to sell. I'm gonna try not to think about the fact that the first one was 8 years ago, and then the second one was like 6 years ago. So like the second one was Sunshine, and then this one is called Superstar. It's gonna be a new full music group. I'm kind of wondering. I feel like I don't hear about his Love Live as much anymore as we used to. Like enough time has passed. Like,
it's still big. Like
it's
perhaps,
still.
Yeah.
It is perhaps not the
going to be a
biggest
big
thing
deal?
in the world anymore, but it's still big. Like,
Yeah.
there is, I mean, look, a lot of people I know and respect, and also Aqua gays like Love Live, so it's. No, that's
Does
not
Aqua
fair,
actually like Love Live?
No, I think he has a complicated love-hate relationship with it, but
fandom.
yes,
Yes.
it's fine. You know, it seems completely harmless,
I
aside
didn't
from
see
all the normal creepy shit about idol groups in general. You know?
Yeah, I didn't see anything to indicate that there was anything different or special about this new one.
I mean,
other than
the
it's
whole
a new
point-
group of girls.
The whole point of those shows is that they stick to a rigid template, right? They are extremely formulaic, and it's a formula that works, and that's fine, but it's not something that interests me even
like-
in the slightest.
The Super Sentai of the idol world here.
You take that back.
Whoa.
Call me back when Love Life has a golf episode which ends with a dude exploding.
All right, well, we are clearly not the right group of people to talk about this, but I thought it was noteworthy enough to mention.
You know,
Sure, yeah.
someone out there will appreciate Love
It's
Live,
still a
you
huge
know?
deal. You know,
Yes.
lots and lots of people like
I
Love
say as
Live,
if it's a
and-
niche franchise. I'm
Yeah.
sure somebody will care for Love
Yeah.
Live. Like it'll do fine.
I'm
it'll
sure
be
lots
fine.
of people care about
Yes,
Love Live.
yes.
the
Look,
franchise.
again, in all seriousness, it's fine. It's just
It-
not
yes.
particularly the interest of anybody who happens to be on this podcast. At the
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah.
Well, what about this next show?
All right. Another
Gel,
some more
did you finish this one?
I did.
Okay.
some more recent sequels here. The surprise hit My Next Life as a Villainess, All Roads Lead to Doom, now subtitled X. Is coming back for a second season.
I see like no point in season 2 of this, considering how the first season ended. So,
You are correct.
Okay.
How did the first season end?
Yeah, so to
Just
refresh
like-
everybody's memory,
like
the
it
whole
got to the end of the Otoma game that she had memories of her past life, and it was the friendship ending where everybody stays friends and lives happily ever after.
Right.
Like,
so the whole point of the show was she gets isekai'd into an Otome game, but she's
as
the villain,
Yes.
and all of the endings she dies, so she has to find a new ending where she doesn't die. So
And she did.
She does. And
So then, where's the?
well, I think what happened.
I believe there's a cliffhanger where they're like, where she remembers something from her past life, and it's like, oh, you finished that game. I can't wait till you play the sequel. But she died too early to play
So-
the sequel.
I didn't have this. I didn't have the time to actually look this up, but if I recall, I think they were pretty much done with the series, and then it was so popular that they were like forced to figure out a way to make it go
Okay,
on.
no, I got it. No,
Of course.
I got the solution. All right, so the main character goes to sleep for 100 years, and then wakes up to a robot apocalypse.
Okay.
In which they are in which she must she has to date 6 Reploids to save the universe.
Too
What about the
unambitious.
zero- what about the Reploid virus? What about Sigma?
What about if she goes to sleep for 10,000 years and wakes up and has to date 6 robots? Also, the robots are sad.
Yeah.
What Yoko Taro's My Life as a Villainess.
Dude, hell
Yeah.
yeah. I'll do it. Fuck it. Let's go.
Maybe
He will
she'll
do
have
anything
to,
if you give him money.
Indeed.
I just have to make a joke about the main villain from season 1 being named Serious Dick again, but
Oh God, right.
It's a good.
maybe
it's a
she'll
good
have
name.
to defeat him again. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I liked the first season, but as
But you
Iro
have faith
said,
in a second. Like that's
it
the thing,
accomplished everything it was supposed to accomplish.
Yep.
And if the second season is just like
More of the same.
it's not only more of the same, but like there's even less plot to work with now, because it's like now it's just the like reverse harem hijinks
Right.
left of oh no, who's she going to hook up with? Clearly none of them, because she does not understand the concept of love because she's too stupid. Yeah, I another 12 episodes of that is too much for me, so I don't know. I mean I'll check out the first episode or two for
I
sure.
don't know, maybe they'll pull a Dynazenon and pull off the like
I ain't counting on it, buddy.
a completely
Nah.
unnecessary sequel that actually justifies itself.
I will say I find it amusing that the trailer, like the production values are so good compared to season 1, because it was like such a surprise hit, and now they've got like
sure.
Oh really? They gave it more money. I
Yeah,
feel like usually season 2 they take away the money.
yeah, and they're just doubling down now, because I guess it was a such a surprise hit for them.
Is it the same studio?
Yeah, it's same staff and everything,
Sure.
but it just
Okay,
looks like 15 to 20% better.
Well, maybe
So.
they could find a way. I don't know. Like,
We'll see.
I mean, a season like this, are you not gonna watch it?
I might not have a choice. All right,
Okay.
let's talk
about this
about
What's next on the list here?
Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid returns for another season. This one's subtitled S instead of
Yeah,
X.
rest in peace, Yasuhiro Takamoto.
Yes, so I do want to mention that this is Kyoto Animation's first TV series back since the arson attack, which was almost 2 years ago now.
Okay.
They did do the second, I think, Violet Evergarden movie since then, but this is like their first TV series. And the first season was directed by Yasuhiro Takamoto, who was killed in the attack. So they've kind of had to switch directors, and so that's kind of, you know.
I mean,
Well,
I'll put my cards on the table here, which is I have less than zero interest in the show, but I have a great deal of interest in the continued existence of Kyoto Animation, and so.
Well, let me tell you about my complicated feelings about Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid.
Sure.
Like the main part of season 1 is very good. The actual relationship between Miss Kobayashi and Toru the Dragon Maid is the best relationship Kyoto Animation has ever done. The problem is, and I will just throw out, I feel like a lot of that I would give credit to Takamoto's style, in which
Right.
KyoAni does their thing where they take absolutely garbage source material and somehow make it into something good.
I mean, I'm partial to the relationship between Yui and Guitar myself, but I see your argument there.
Sure, but yes, that's a very powerful relationship.
Yes.
But the problem is, like, that main part. So like those two and their, you know, adopted dragon daughter are pretty good, but everything else, which is like maybe an additional 30% of the show, is hot garbage. Like,
Yay!
like everything else in the show is so bad. So you've got like
What about Tank Top Boob Dragon?
Yeah, I was gonna say big titty goth girlfriend dragon.
Yes,
Right.
with her little like elementary school boy that takes care of her or whatever. And,
Ooh.
Okay, I didn't even know that part, but okay.
yeah, yeah. Everything else in the show is so like. I had very mixed feelings at the end of season 1, just because like the slight majority of it I thought was very good, but like you have to swallow so much
right.
bad.
And that's tough going into a sequel that, you know, for better or worse, has a different staff associated with it, right?
Yeah, and now they've swapped over to Ishihara, who's
Is he the Myriad Colors Phantom World guy?
he was on. Yeah, he's I would say he's hit and miss, but his stuff kind of leads more towards the comedy end, which is the bad end of Dragon Maid. So I don't know how that's going to pan out, but I don't know. At the very least, there was an OVA after season 1 which was pretty good too. So I'll
Hasn't
give
there
them
been
that
like
much.
a CGI short series airing recently?
Yeah, there's been
as
a.
well?
Well, I don't think it's CGI. I think it's
Oh,
just
is
regular
it?
shorts.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah, so they were running that this season, which I have not watched actually. I might try to catch that since it's shorts before the season 2 starts. But I have complicated feelings, but I am definitely interested in watching at the very least.
I mean, for better or worse, right? Like,
it was a highly notable show.
Yeah, for the reasons you guys have stated, it is a notable entry this season, and I think that, like, as much as we are, like, dogging on this season, maybe some of that is also just our tastes are very much not aligned with this season.
Like, our tastes have become clear at this point.
Like, I look, like, I can't believe it myself, but I know people, like, I've spoken to people who said that this current season is not their favorite because of, like, the style of shows that are airing.
Sure.
So, like,
yeah,
like, I'm not gonna say those people have bad taste, but
we do not represent the entire anime fandom.
Yeah,
there are definitely
our tiny slice of the anime.
Yeah, as always, this is a podcast of entirely subjective opinions.
Of course.
Yeah,
But I think I can speak for most of the anime fandom when I say that we would all prefer a Kyoto Animation which is back and firing on all cylinders and, makes a successful recovery from the terrible tragedy that has befallen
Yeah, man.
them.
Absolutely.
I need Nichijou too.
Well, that's never going to happen.
I mean, but
that on
also
the-
from a more practical point of view, Kyoto Animation, has a history of promoting women creators. They have a strong history of actually treating their animators like human beings, of educating, up and coming animators and integrating them into projects. And all of these are trends that we want to see continue. So, the studio is important in more ways than one.
Right? Yeah. Like I think that is a fair statement to make. Like, I again, not since Nichijou have I watched a KyoAni work that is interested in me, but I think that, yes, for the sake of the industry itself, a healthy KyoAni is a good thing.
Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah, so looking forward to that. All right.
Dive
headfirst into the garbage, baby.
I've scraped the barrel, chosen a few.
We could just end the podcast here.
chosen a few new shows to talk about.
We don't have to
30
talk
minutes
about
long
these shows
because we're in a hurry and you're not that smart.
I've prepared a few statements on some of these.
Oh fuck.
we're like I said, there's like 7 isekai shows. I didn't want to talk about any of them.
Why don't you tell me about what is this here? Bokutachi.
There are a non-zero number. Look, I've read
remake.
the manga adaptations of a non-zero number of these isekai while I was researching my post from like a year back, and yeah, they're not really that worth talking about. So.
I think the only one with even like a slight hook to it was the one with the guy who makes potions and opens a drugstore or something.
All right, sure.
In another world. It's like literally I opened a drugstore in another world or something.
Sure.
But yeah, I mean,
yeah.
that one at least didn't look awful. It just looked boring. But
all right, but yeah, tell us about this first one on the list because I've never heard of this.
Yeah,
this is the game dev one.
Oh
yes.
my god, game. All right. Okay.
So this one is Remake Our Life or Bokutachi no Remake. It's about this game developer guy who his company's about to go bankrupt and he's losing his job, and then he gets sent back in time to relive his life and undo all his regrets and whatnot. It looks like,
except like your game dev, like your game dev ideas from a decade from now, they won't be popular right now if you make them. Like that's all I'm saying. Like. How would you make a live game, Schluter, roguelite, Souls-like?
Well, okay, so here's the thing.
2010, it just wouldn't take off.
Well, okay, no, so here's the thing. Like, there's a little bit, like, as someone who is, like, tangentially connected to game development now, like, there's something interesting to me about this, but, like, I have a feeling this is not going to do the things I want it to. But, like, I think there could actually be an interesting through line of, like, trying to introduce game design ideas like before the technology is ready for it.
But except what I think actually is he goes back in time and then he's like, oh, all of my favorite games were made by hot ladies. What if I go and make them all into one studio before they made it big?
Yeah, this key art is just a bunch of cute
that's
girls.
not nearly as interesting. Because Because now see now I'm doing the thing era where we write we just
Write
back
this
and
better.
forth, you and me,
Okay,
we write a
how
better
do we
version of
introduce
this.
like the ideas of Death Stranding 10 years before
Right,
Death
right,
Stranding
like
in a
imagine
way
this-
that people find palatable?
Right, like imagine this dude goes back in time to like fucking like 2004 and tries to like invent like fucking I don't know like immediate post Resident Evil 4, like tries to invent like Death Stranding or Dark Souls, like
Right.
I
how
mean,
about
Dark
you-
Souls had already been invented for 10
called
odd years by
Kingsfield.
the time. But
All right, fine. Like, let's go like in the indie let's go in like the more indie direction, right? Like, try to invent like a game like I don't know, like fucking
Papers, Please.
Undertale
Or,
in
like,
2004.
yeah. Right,
or something.
God.
Like
that wouldn't
like,
work
with-
because Undertale was just reality in 2004. You know,
Well, I
that's
guess
how
what I mean is,
everybody
like,
acted.
Well, the thing I'm trying to like get into here is like, and believe me, I'm trying to draw blood from a stone here because we don't have anything to talk about this podcast. But like, so many ideas that we associate with like the most popular like video games of a given time period, like some of it is technology, but I feel like a lot of it is also culture, right? Like the culture of the time, the audience of the time is just not ready for a certain type of video game, like. You know, like, as much as we joke, a game like Dark Souls doesn't really become popular unless it comes on the heels of the last 10 years of, like,
World War II
Western
shooters.
style, like, not just that, but, like, extremely, like, patronizing tutorials. Like, you know, the era of QTEs,
Hold
right?
A to run.
Right, hold A to run, right? Follow the big glowing arrow to get to your waypoint, right? Like, a game like Dark Souls doesn't become interesting unless it exists in a time in which other games, like,
Right.
are doing something else, you know?
That's
I'm saying
why
is
Dark
this-
Souls got big, and La Milana, which came out like 10 years before that, did not get big.
So what I'm
I mean,
saying
it,
is
it
that
helps that From were able to hammer away at the same basic concept
Yes.
for like 20 years as well.
Yes. I'm just using it as an example. What
Yeah.
I'm really actually saying is that this anime should be about this character going back in time and then just punching every Japanese executive in the face until they fully adopt Unreal Engine in 2006.
That's how you really fix the game.
Like that's how you
man.
save Japanese. That's how you save Japanese games. Is you go to Square Enix and say, "No, stop."
What do you mean?
spending
We used
all this-"
Unreal Engine for The Last Remnant, and nobody liked The Last
Yeah,
Remnant.
how about
Like-
Resonance of Fate?
Actual Resonance
Well-
of Fate's like...
Resident of Fate's all
I
right. That game's
know,
good.
but like,
fucking
you know.
stack like 16 scopes on my Uzi.
Well-
But no, I'm just saying like prevent them from developing Final Fantasy 13 with like 16 different proprietary engines or like whatever the story is of how that game got made. Like,
Well, I was
you would stop Fabula Nova Crystallis in its tracks, G?
yes, and I would do
God.
it again.
I was interpreting
I'd
this.
stop Pablo Nova Crystallis' tracks just the same as I'd shoot Baby Hitler.
Yeah, you know, fuck Baby Hitler. I'm going back in time. I'm gonna shoot Baby Nomura.
Destroy the compilation of Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah, well, I might be on board for that.
Uncompiled, motherfucker.
You'd have to go back like 30 years for that, though, at this point. I was interpreting the description as more of perhaps writing his personal failings, but I don't know if you've read more about it than I have, Iro. But,
I'm not.
Okay. Anyway,
No, we're just taking this premise and writing something better.
couple things I'll point out. One of the things that put this on my radar is it's made by Studio Feel, who has produced many of my cult favorite comedies, such as Hinamatsuri and This Art Club Has a Problem.
Okay.
Also the director of Amagami and Seiren. I'll just throw that out there.
Really?
Obviously not the
Okay,
writer.
see, that's how
Oh.
you get me. I
Okay,
mean,
but like, I want to see something that says by the writer of Siren. It's like
It's-
somebody dared let that motherfucker back into the writer's room, and
I
I
mean,
will cheer. I will go, hell yes.
I don't think
Okay, I mean-
I don't think many shows use a random word generator on the staff. So
All right, I take that back. If
Siren has Yoshiyuki Tomino level writing.
look, if
I'm not
I'll
sure
take
who that's a
everything-
bigger burn to, Seiren or Tomino. Quite frankly,
I will take it all back if episode 1 opens with this dude kissing the back of the knees of all these girls. All right, like,
Yeah. Shout out to Amagami.
Shouts to
shout
Seiren.
outs to Amagami indeed.
All right.
still got to get that midnight naan, baby.
God, Siren was
Everyone-
alright.
I want to say everyone check out Seiren, but I don't know if I can do that in good
I don't
conscience.
know if you can actually say that. All right,
Not
what about
since
this next one?
G-Reco have I watched the show with such inane dialogue.
So
What is this one? What is this?
what is this one that I put on here?
Tantei Wamo.
Yeah,
Oh,
you can
man.
say that in your Kenshiro voice.
Tantei wa mo Shindeiru.
Yes.
Yeah.
The detective is already dead, or as officially on the title card, as it states, Le Detective Esta Muerta.
What is this, Bleach?
Ooh. I was thinking, what is this, Megalobox?
Okay, well, that's better, yeah.
I'm not going to tell you that this looks good, but I thought the concept was interesting.
What is it?
It's about this guy who was the assistant of this detective lady, and like apparently all the supposedly exciting adventures happened before this anime, and then she died.
Okay, that's all right.
And then she died, and now he's like trying to live his normal life, but then stuff starts coming back up or whatever.
Does she, like, possess him or something? Or is she floating around as a cute ghost?
I did not see any evidence of supernatural stuff going on, but I don't know. Maybe she didn't really die.
I don't
Who
know.
knows?
This all sounds like completely in line with the genre, right? I mean, did Sherlock Holmes die for like a book and then he got better? So like,
No,
What are you talking about?
He
got put in a
died.
stasis tube until the 22nd century.
until the
Yes.
22nd century.
Oh my god!
Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century.
Every time you give us the fucking id, Eero and I are gonna take it. To
Why
the
don't you just
22nd
start
century.
a podcast about Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century?
Oh, you mean the GLORIO chat in the 22nd century? Our Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century watch along podcast.
Sure, why not? We put sillier
We
stuff on the
just
side.
we read the original book, like mystery, and then watch the 22nd century.
Watch the episode it's
adaptation
based
episode.
on.
Okay, I will accept this pitch, but only if we are allowed to do a parallel podcast about James Bond Jr. as well.
That's a name I haven't heard in a
This
long
is the
time.
podcast you get if you give us nothing to work with. We have to invent our own bits.
Yeah, so again, I like the concept. I don't know about the actual
It sounds like it could be a really interesting character drama, but the problem about really interesting character dramas is you need good writing. So, it could go really wrong.
these like anime ass character designs and whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean,
don't
I will
know.
point
You know
out
what this?
that, I will point out that this is the same studio who did 2020 Anime of the Year, Uzaki-chan, as well. So
Well, it says he
well.
was animation director technically.
I don't blame
The
I don't
studio,
blame
I
the
mean.
studio for
Yeah,
Oh,
that.
studio. I thought you were talking about the guy. My bad.
The idea of there's a dead person as a major character makes me think of Nanana's Missing Treasure or whatever.
Oh God, how do you even remember that?
Wow, that's a pull.
But she actually wasn't she actually
A ghost.
a ghost or something?
I think so. I assume the detective in the show is a ghost, or otherwise there's just a lot of fucking flashbacks based on this trailer.
I mean,
you
that
absolutely can write a story where somebody is like a major character and also deceased. But again, it's a tricky balancing act, right?
Yeah.
it would have to be a
Yeah.
lot of flashbacks. Yeah.
Yeah, and also just, you have to write their presence in without them actually being physically there. And
hard.
again,
Right,
that's
'cause, like,
tricky.
so a lot of flashbacks.
Because like the bad version of this is where he solves every case by showing a flashback to his, his detective master specifically saying some convenient like turn of phrase
Yep.
that unlocks the case.
Oh, I love Phoenix Wright.
No, that's different. See, that's spirit channeling.
Yes.
See, Maya Fey
not
is
ghosts.
channeling the spirit of.
Definitely not ghosts.
This is
Yeah,
this is
you'd have to
admissible,
have-
legally admissible as evidence. Yep.
I mean, this is cheating, but I'm looking at the tags on any chart,
Oh, that doesn't tell you anything.
and it does mention superpowers and artificial intelligence. So
Wait, what?
Oh.
those are
Sure,
all
why
ways you
not?
could get around
Okay,
that.
Comes
let's see
back
here.
as a
Let's see
cyborg.
here. We got the tags: female protagonist, male protagonist, tragedy, superpower, detective, terrorism, artificial
Terrorism.
intelligence, harem, and guns.
All right.
Anime.
Oh, no. Okay. I clicked the show spoilers, and we've got a tag that was all the way at the top. Body swapping. She's dead, but she's possessing him. I called it early on.
Or no, she's so it is Phoenix, right? She's possessed.
Spirit channeling.
It is spirit channeling.
Oh shit.
Well, no, the poster has this pink-haired girl too, right? So is she possessing the pink-haired girl? Like, is that?
She could be
right.
channeling
You might be
into
right. You
another
might be
waifu of some kind.
I mean,
yes.
Right,
I guess we're gonna have to watch to find out, huh?
Is she actually just Maya Fey?
Yeah, I guess we will have to watch and find out.
All right. Well,
I'll let you guys do that, and you can tell me later. All right, what do we got next here?
all right. Here's a weird one.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
This one is called Life Lessons with Uramichi Onii-san.
Okay.
This is about a 30-something kids TV host who is like
Okay.
super happy on camera, but he's like weird and creepy and possibly murders people off camera.
Actually, that sounds fucking great.
Oh, I think I've actually. Oh, isn't this an adaptation of a manga? Yeah.
Have you seen this in passing, G?
In passing, yes. This is not one of those. Oh, G read the manga and this is an adaptation. No, this is just I've seen pages of this out of context that seem pretty funny, but again, it's like I don't know. Those are just
okay.
one-off gags or like.
I mean, the concept is right up my alley as far as black comedy type of things going on here.
Yeah. Yeah, again, I will say that I don't know if the whole thing is good, but I'll say the 2 or 3 pages I saw out of context, I did laugh at. So
Okay.
that's something, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, and the trailer doesn't give away too much aside from the written description, but it looks pretty amusing. Just the whole concept of this
Kid show host is actually psycho.
Yeah, like the joke of the couple of pages I saw of it is kind of basically the right. It's the contradiction of children because children are innocent and thus they know who is the strongest. They and have not been ground down
It's
by
Goku.
life yet, right? They ask certain
Master
questions, right?
Smith.
That it's just a joke that children ask questions that adults are actually deep down completely incapable of handling because they strike at certain things that we as adults have just learned to internalize, right? It's just classic stuff of mister, how come you don't do what makes you happy? And it's kid.
So it's Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei. then.
It's a lot more complicated than that.
Is
stuff
this just
like that.
another show in the trend of tapping into millennial angst here?
Maybe.
But
again, I don't know how fresh that joke stays. Again, as a one-off thing I've read one page of,
Right.
I was that's pretty funny, but I don't know if that can last a whole season.
Right. That's always the big question. with
Ideally,
these.
this would be some Wave Listen to Me level, millennial angst, but I feel like it's probably not gonna be right.
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
this seems
Hey, remember
more
Wave Listen to Me?
gag-oriented. Also,
Yeah.
yeah, remember Wave Listen to Me?
remember that show?
She fought that bear.
There were some things that happened in that one, but yeah, no, this seems more like a gag type traditional anime comedy, but yeah, I have not had a good anime comedy in I've several seasons now. I feel like
Yeah.
I
Free Yoichi
need
Fujita.
free free. That's the new hashtag now that Tsurumaki is theoretically done with Evangelion, right? Hashtag
Theoretically.
Do you really think they're going to make an Evangelion 5.0? Come on.
No, I
No,
think they're
but
just gonna chain Tsurumaki to
Yes.
something else.
Yes.
Anyway, I hope that is at least funny.
Sure.
Let's
Okay. Oof.
move on. Talk about
What's this one?
the Aquatope of White Sand, Shiroi Suna no Aquatope. This is the new PA Works original series.
Okay. Before I look up literally anything about this, you tell me it's a new PA Work series. It is.
Okay.
Is it the young girls working at a job PA Works, or is it B teens having a heartful journey of self-discovery PA Works, or is it the C kind of janky, maybe
Supernatural
fun,
fantasy
supernatural fantasy
What
action PA Works?
What if I told you it was all three?
Oh shit!
Oh damn! The ultimate PA
serious?
works show.
I'm dead
Wait, are
serious.
Are you actually serious?
I'm actually serious.
You're not
So-
doing this as a bit.
So
Oh, fuck.
that worked out perfectly.
Oh shit!
The so the
Well,
concept.
now I gotta pull up this PV.
Yeah.
There's this girl who is an 18-year-old girl working at a high school, not a high, 18-year-old girl
what,
working at a aquarium.
Sure.
Okay.
So you got the working aspect.
All right.
The aquarium is on the verge of closing down, of course.
Okay.
Classic.
she meets this other girl who has failed at being an idol and is looking for a job and asked to work at the aquarium.
Okay.
Sure.
So they can work. They work together, and the aquarium has some sort of mysterious magic secret
Okay.
that she knows about, where like these magic creatures show up in the aquarium or something like that. So you've got a little bit of everything that you'd expect from
and
a
then
PA
the
Works.
demons.
Yeah.
Demons show up.
Sirius the
Well,
Jaeger.
Unfortunately, I don't think they mixed in any Sirius the Jaeger, but that's probably not your typical.
I was gonna say, if it takes place in an aquarium, couldn't we go like full Shadow of Innsmouth here or something?
Oh man.
Like, these girls have to fight Lovecraftian horrors from the deep.
Remember, like, the unspoken part about Shadow over Innsmouth, which is a bunch of inbreeding as well. So,
Are you saying that? Are you saying that is too gauche for anime?
I'm saying that it's too brave for anime, who prefer generally only to hint at that kind of thing.
All right.
Look, it's all in the tease, right? If you just say you can fuck the fish monsters, then, where's the money gonna come from?
Apparently, the writer for this show was the writer for the Digimon Adventure Tri movies.
So it's bad then.
For Heaven's Lost Property, Kotetsushin Jig.
Oh, wait,
Okay.
like the modern Jig, the one with the.
I mean, presumably not the original one.
Yeah.
Parts of the newer Jig,
Oh,
and
that
did
song had a
writing
very,
on-
that show had a very good Ichiro Mizuki OP. So I'll
hell
give
yeah,
it
it
that.
did.
So
Aikatsu, Bank Dream, Chihaya Furu,
people like
Cells at
Chihaya Furu.
Work.
Sure.
So I think the one thing we can safely say about this show is that it will be very pretty.
So I just watched the PV, and it is a good-looking show.
Yeah.
PA
I mean,
Works-
PA Works
it
do
is
not
a-
produce ugly shows.
You know,
It is a-
as much as I thought Apari Ranman sucked ass, it looked good.
God, Apari Ranman exists. Right. Oh fuck. Right. Was that like the last notable PA Works anime?
Might have
I
been.
probably no. They did. Was that before or after they did the one with the girls fishing?
Wasn't
That
that like
somehow got
concurrent?
like 2 seasons or
What?
something. Was that them?
I thought those basically aired at the
Apparently,
same time. or
apparently
something.
the last notable PA Work show between Apari Ranman and Aquatope of Right Sand is The Day I Became a God, conceived by Jun Maeda.
That was the Jun Maeda one. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
I
Look,
mean-
PA Works is a. They are a workman-like studio.
They are apparently among the better studios to work for,
You know-
I will say.
if nothing else, PA Works is a notable enough studio that we can make jokes about their house style.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true. Like they got it. They got a vibe, and they tend to stick with it.
Right.
And sometimes it works, and sometimes it very much does not.
I mean,
but-
they are a studio that has produced a show that this blog has called the Anime of the Year. So
Shirobako is a great anime. and
Also, PA Works produced the Kazuya Tsurumaki directed opening for Wild Arms 3 on the PlayStation 2.
you see, now I'm interested.
Now we're getting to the real deep cuts here.
The point is that
Yeah.
there is a great deal of talent at PA Works, and it, like, whether their shows are good or not tends to depend very strongly upon the material they are given to work
Yeah.
with, right?
so is this an anime original then?
This is an original.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Why the
So-
fuck not? Yeah. Like,
I mean, Iroh jokes about them doing only those 3 types of shows. I think that applies to their originals. They actually do quite a few adaptations as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, all their originals seem to fit in one of those categories, and this seems to cover them all. So, if you're into PA Works, which I've personally been hit or miss with them on some of these,
Fuck
but
them, places here.
the anime police have arrived again. Yeah, so
It's us. We are the anime police.
It's me!
it-
You're
if
under
you're-
arrest, motherfucker!
No,
if
that's the
if-
real twist. You were the cops
It's
the
good
whole
to be.
time.
It's good to be invincible.
Can you speak a little closer to my chest?
rapid fire references to shit. That
Look, like I said, this podcast is just we are
going flying off the rails.
We have one anime left on this list, and we're not even an hour in. Like I could almost go back to Get a Robo. Like I might as well. Like I forgot to mention, there's a new Jam Project OP. So
hell yeah, Jam Project.
I will say,
great.
Jam Project is great, but their involvement in something is not an indicator of quality at all. Because they have produced
they did the opening for Card Guard Van Fight. Like,
Card Guard Van Fight.
Yes, Card Guard Van Fight.
No, Card Guard Van Fight. Say that 3 times fast.
I mean, could you do a Get a Robo without a Jam Project OP?
No.
Though? I mean.
Well, yes, you can.
Okay, look, but Ichiro Mizuki and Nobuhiro Kageyama are both part of Jam Project.
So that's what I mean. Is that it is either Jam Project or it is an Ichiro Mizuki solo.
Okay,
those are your two options.
It has to be part of the Jam Project cinematic universe.
Yes.
Just like the ending of Carnival of Phantas by Masaki Endo, part of the Jam Project cinematic universe.
I mean, the Gal Gaiga.
We should just talk about the last anime on this list.
Don't forget the opening of Dororo Nenmakun by Masaki Endo, part of the Jam Project cinematic universe.
Hey, great example.
The Gal Gaiga opening is
bad show.
The Gal Gaiga opening is only by Endo, but everybody accepts that is a Jam Project song.
Don't forget the original opening of Pokemon the animated series, or Rika Matsumoto, part of the Jam Project cinematic universe.
Right. I mean, yes. You look. Right. You have the. It's like the Fast and the Furious. Right. You have.
It's about family.
Right. Right. You have the Jam Project family. Right. But then you have the extended like Hobbs and Shaw extended family. Right. So that's like.
So which one of Jam Project killed Han?
All right, I need to shut this.
It was probably Rika
down.
Matsumoto, right?
Fuck.
She cheated on her taxes and she killed Han.
Oh shit.
All right.
Tell me about
Fukuyama. Let's just end this podcast.
Tell me about Sonny Boy, Joe.
This actually looks pretty good.
This is notable because Shingo Natsume is the director.
It is also notable because it is by Madhouse, one of the oldest still existing anime studios who have produced so many things since 1973. They have produced classics, they have produced garbage, they have produced everything under the sun.
It's true.
So yes, this is a original series created and directed by Shingo Natsume
and written by.
Yes.
Oh, this OP is a banger.
Notable also, Shinichiro Watanabe is in charge of the music.
Yeah, this OP is hot.
I need to pull that up. I need to find
it. Okay. Show me what you got.
So it's an original, so obviously not a whole lot of information out there as to what's actually happening. It mentions that this is a sci-fi survival series with a class of students who get
fucking Danganronpa.
It looks
they get
there's a bit of a battle royale.
They get stranded in another dimension or something and have to survive.
Sure.
I don't like the art. I love the art style.
Yeah, this looks good. I like it.
It looks very.
For people who don't know, we should probably clarify who Shingo Natsume is.
Shingo Natsume directed Space Dandy and season 1 of One Punch Man, as well as Aka 13 Districts.
He is known as one of the most talented key animators and animation directors of the past 20 years.
I think he also directed the recent Boogie Pop.
Yep.
Oh, he did do that. Yes. I thought this looked a little familiar.
He did a lot of key animation on Gurren Lagann as well,
Damn.
Yep.
Yeah.
And storyboarded One Punch Man and some of Mob Psycho 100 as well.
Yeah, I will say I've not watched Boogie Pop and I dropped off Aka partway through, but his directing was always top notch.
Yeah. And for a while he was one of those closers, who you bought in to animate a particularly high quality cut. Somebody like Ko Yoshinari or someone like that.
Like some might say Space Dandy was one of the best anime of
the past decade.
2014. The last decade?
Yeah,
might as well.
I would definitely say that.
So all right, look at this PV, look at the stuff attached to it, as much as we're fucking around here, this is probably one of the ones to watch, right? This is one of the ones to pay attention to this season.
I think so, yes.
Strong staff, I'm mixed on the premise, but I can be sold on it. Looks pretty cool. Yeah. The song of this PV is a banger, so
Madhouse can produce some excellent looking stuff when they put their minds to it.
For sure.
Yeah.
And again, it's I have not been. I'm frankly not a big fan of like some of the stuff Shingo Natsume has directed recently, but like a lot of that is just down to like subject matter more than anything. So like,
Does he have any track record as a writer that we know of?
Not really.
don't know. He's like purely. I mean, he came from animation primarily.
Yeah, he is a director who comes from the visual side of the industry. So
that's kind of a wild card then, huh?
Could be.
yeah. I mean, but that's interesting, right? I'm interested to see where he goes with it. And if, I mean, Natsume has kind of worked a lot with Watanabe as kind of like a mentor figure, and Watanabe, whether you like his anime or not, he knows his way around a good character drama. And so, I think perhaps if he is there in sort of a supervisory role, just kind of...
What does music advisor even mean?
I think it mostly means that we will pay you to, like...
To sit here in this room to listen to our composer?
I mean, like, I suspect it is... We'll pay you to, like, be an old man and chuck some advice out.
Yes. That is what I'm getting at, is like, are we paying you to, like, give the thumbs up for, like, this song, and then you can leave for the day?
I mean, part of it is also that Watanabe is one of the few people in the anime industry who has genuine name power, right? Like, and I mean, beyond just, like, animation nerds like us or stuff like that.
Right.
He is somebody who you can put his name above the title and people will pay notice to that.
Right. But yeah, sure. I mean, this sounds like it could be pretty interesting. And as much as we're kind of stomping on this season, like as Zig kind of alluded to at the beginning, I feel like it is almost like GLORIO tradition that every season of anime, there's always like one that like surprises us, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's great or like revelatory, but there's always like one every given season that ends up being surprisingly like
not what we expected.
I mean, even in this season that is stacked with incredibly good shows, a lot of those incredibly good shows have kind of come out of nowhere, right? Like,
Odd Taxi.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah, like I don't want to like set up my expectations and hope that Sonny Boy ends up being that for us this season, but if there is one this season, I can definitely see it being. I mean, we can only
ever crystal ball gaze, right? But like, it's certainly set up well. I mean, as I've said, we're big fans of Shingo Natsume. It looks interesting. There's a neat premise, which is not just. I mean, I guess technically they are being isekai'd, but you get the idea.
Yes.
It's
they're being isekai'd, but it's not an isekai.
Yeah. It is a bad isekai.
Whoa.
At least as far as we know.
All right.
So.
Anything else? We got here.
Last call.
You suggested Scarlet Nexus.
I mean,
we would just want to bring that up.
Yeah,
quick.
the only notable things about Scarlet Nexus. Well, there's two major notable things. One, it's a tie-in to a fairly major
game.
Fairly major video game which has gotten FaceTime among the big manufacturers, specifically Microsoft, seems to be behind it.
Even if, like, on some level, it's only notable because it is one of the first major Japanese games to be
on the new
on the
gen,
PS5 or the new console.
Yeah, PS5.
Gamco's been pushing it real hard.
Yeah, and the other notable thing is that it is animated by your friends and mine, Sunrise, which could be anything, but they are a major studio, and when their name is attached to something, that means something.
The one thing I did find interesting is that the game and the anime are coming out nearly at the same time, within like a week or two.
An unusual display of synergy from Japan, I will say.
Yeah, because usually it's like one way or the other, right? Like,
place your bets, people. Is the Scarlet Nexus anime an adaptation of the game?
Absolutely not.
Or is it a side story? A Gaiden?
They are completely unrelated, I bet.
Are they actually? Or
I have no idea. That's just my guess.
Or is it the Shin Sakura Wars the animation?
Oh, God.
And it is an epilogue to the events of the game.
It's too. You can't release the epilogue the same time as the game comes out, right?
That game looks not bad, I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean,
it's got a super anime, but in a fun way type of vibe to it, to a certain degree.
The reality for me and like my relationship with Japanese character action games is that if you're not platinum, I need to hold the controller in my hands to see how it feels. Like I cannot trust non-platinum character action games until I've actually played them. Like,
I mean, honestly, I can't really trust platinum action games at this point, because they blow hot and cold.
I mean, I feel like you can. I feel like you can feel in your gut when you are seeing A Team Platinum versus like C Team Platinum. You know what I mean? Like you can tell, and you can feel in your soul. Okay, this is Bayonetta versus okay, this is The Legend of Korra, the video game.
Yeah, I mean, usually the core combat is good, but it's everything around it maybe that is hit or miss.
Right.
I mean, I played that what was the mobile game, World of Demons or something, on Apple Arcade.
Right.
I would not play a Platinum game on a mobile platform.
And well, it has controller support, so I hooked up the controller, and like it's literally just Platinum Combat Simulator. There's nothing else happening in the game whatsoever.
I'm going to come in with an important update here. Apparently, they put up an immediate demo of Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origins onto PlayStation 5, and it's corrupted by chaos. No, really, it's broken. Apparently,
by Garland. Garland did it.
You mean
Garland
chaos?
corrupted the
No,
file.
chaos. Don't call it
That's
Garland.
Garland.
No.
Guys, look, I'm pointing at him. That's Garland.
All right.
Anyway, I just thought that was very funny.
I'm gonna put this podcast out of its misery.
Hell yeah. We could all go off and play this demo on our PlayStation.
No. You know, I as somebody who actually did read much of the manga for one or two of these isekai things, I will take the bullet. There is, let's see, I'm looking at the thing. There's How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom, which is the dude gets summoned in to Isekai Land and basically says, wow, your social policies are fucking out of date. We should fix that shit instead of, like, do war stuff.
Oh, so he ends slavery instead of get slaves?
Yeah, he's like, we need to actually grow crops instead of only money crops and stuff. So that one, I remember reading that and going, this is better than the slave harem shit.
Yeah, I mean,
sure.
There is a like kind of a second breed of isekai shows that exist now that are like the like inoffensive, boring ones.
Right. Also is let's see here.
Isekai has reached the point where it is a genre that you can use as a Trojan horse to like convey your actual show about.
But like
stuff.
not all of them now are like the male power fantasy ones.
But kind of what is one of those is Tsuki ga Michibiku Isekai Dochu reading off of this list, which is something like a Moonlit Fantasy or something like that, which is kind of notable because it's a lot of the staff of Log Horizon working on this. My understanding is this is also one of the like older, more highly regarded isekai in the genre.
Well, that's good. We all saw how much we loved. What was that fucking awful show?
Log Horizon Season 3?
No, the like the kid who's
Mushoku
a pervert.
Tensei.
Yeah, jobless reincarnation.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
Yeah.
This one also
that
I
did not go well.
think to us will be particularly interesting. This one, I think the gimmick for this one is that like a lot of the it bills itself as like social like progress isekai, except the dude literally has a like pocket dimension with him with all of his
that's cheating.
Right, exactly, right? You just got a fucking city builder in your fucking pocket. It's not real social reform, dumbass.
That's not even like this genre is already not that interesting to me because a lot of it often feels like cultural imperialism, you know?
Oh yeah, straight up, dude.
Like, let me just show up here and show you fucking rubes how to do things the right way, you know, the modern way.
Let me show you how to build a water pump and crop rotation. Let me teach you how to cure scurvy.
Right, like there's an implicit tone to that sort of style of fiction, but like at least most of those times it's still like, hey, you gotta put the work in, not just fucking stick your hand in a pocket dimension and
right, exactly.
Yeah.
pull out socialism.
I mean, the problem with so many of these shows is that they are power fantasies and most often male power fantasies.
Yeah.
In one way or another, you know, be that you are openly awful or you are subtly awful, but it's there a lot of the time.
But the big boob ladies still love you no matter what.
Yeah, you know. But anyway, thank you, Iro, for making my job easier so you can write these season previews of those.
Oh, God damn it. No,
all right.
I said I took the bullet, but this isn't what I meant.
Let's wrap this up.
You took a whole machine gun, son.
let's wrap this up so I can go break my PS5 with that Final Fantasy Origin demo.
Yes, we can all play it on our PS5s, which we definitely have.
I mean, I have one.
Yes,
'cause
Joe
I'm-
actually.
You're gonna have to.
I'm the 1%.
You're gonna have to do some editorial for. You got to do some reporting for us.
You know,
Speaking of male
I'm the
power
1%,
fantasy,
but, yeah.
owning
All
a
right.
PlayStation 5.
Well, housekeeping. Check us out at theglorioblog.com. Where you can find any of our other content. Zig's still writing about Dynazenon.
It's still good.
God, what a
Still
fucking
very good.
show.
I would have rather talked about that than all of this stuff today.
Next
But
time.
Dude, I have like so many fucking things bubbling underneath my skin about Vivi, Odd Taxi, Nomad. Like there were so many good episodes.
we're gonna
of
make
these
up for this
shows,
with a
and,
3-hour episode next time for the season wrap
Yes,
up.
we probably are.
Is
all right.
is Dobu throwing that guy's phone in the harbour the moment of the year so far? Because it's up there.
Yes, that was very good.
So many good
I'm a
shows.
little behind actually because I've been busy on this week's shows, so we'll have to get into that.
Man.
So yeah, check us out at theglorioblog.com. Follow us on Twitter at theglorioblog. You can subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Amazon, Podbean, Stitcher. Also like, comment, subscribe on YouTube, ring the bell and whatnot. Tell your friends, tell your enemies. We'll catch everybody next time.
Make your enemies watch Isekai anime.
Chaos!